Right, so the problem is that we've got an E-Type Series 2 1970 2+2, and it's got a leak from the seal at the rear of the gearbox. So what I've done is I've got the vehicle on ramps at the front and axle stands at the rear, so I can get underneath the vehicle. The question is, can I do the seal from underneath the vehicle without the need to remove the engine and gearbox or take a lot of the internal trim out? Okay, so I've started by removing the exhaust system, heat shield gone, etc. Cross member with the rear gearbox mount has been removed, and as you can see, speedo drive disconnected. And this is the problem up here. So this is the flange at the end of the gearbox, and I've undone the prop shaft at the moment, and there's only a very small gap. I need to be able to undo the nut down the centre of the flange, and to be able to do that I need to try and move the prop shaft out the way to enable me to do it. I'm now going to disconnect the prop shaft bolts on the differential and see if that gives me enough room to move the prop shaft out the way to allow me to undo the bolt in the centre of the flange here, and hopefully I can then remove this and take the seal out. Okay, so with the rear prop shaft bolts undone, I can move the prop shaft back a bit, giving me access to the nut up here. If you can see that, and then I'm going to take that nut off. Well, I'm going to take the split pin out and see if I can get access to the nut with a socket and wrench, or even I might be able to do it with actually a spanner. Give it a go. Okay, so this is looking down the prop shaft tunnel, and you can now see I've got the split pin out. I can now see the nut. I've just measured the across flats size of the nut, so I'm now going to make a cranked spanner so I'll be able to get it from underneath this position here. Okay, to make the bespoke spanner, I found another 38mm nut, and this happens to be a small piece of scaffold pipe. I'll get it red hot, I'll put the nut on the centre of it, and then I'll put it in the vise and I'll force the nut into the actual pipe, and that'll make the spanner shape. As you can now see, I've now pushed the nut into the scaffold piece of piping. And all you need to do then, again, put it in the vise, get the flats all sorted, and then allow it to cool. And then hopefully we've got the basis of our spanner we need to take this nut off the end of the gearbox. Okay, so here's the finished spanner. So as you can see, I've made the shape, and I've welded it to a piece of flat bar because it's going to be very close to that support member underneath to get through. I'm just going to tidy up some of the welds at the on the edges, and then hopefully we'll have a go at undoing the nut. Well, the spanner worked, and there's the nut off the back of the gearbox. This 2+2's got an overdrive on it, so the actual nut I think is larger than the standard gearbox nut. The only other thing I had to manufacture was this piece of metal here, and that was to actually lock the prop shaft in position. And I put a bar through it, stop the prop shaft turn to give me some leverage so I can actually undo the nut. The nut was a bit tight, I thought it would be, but eventually it's come off. Now I just need to knock the end cap off the gearbox and hopefully get access to the oil seal. Right, so here we are underneath. As you can see, dropped the torsion bar here. I've got the prop shaft down in that bottom left hand corner, and you can just see in there where I bent the bracket here. Oops, see the bracket I bent just here, which is the takes the cable of the handbrake, and that's given me just enough space to be able to get in. Take it all off underneath there. Okay, so new seals ordered, £2.88. So I've ordered two in case I break one, because it's going to be quite awkward getting it in, but I'll show you the installation shortly. Okay, so it can be done. Getting that out of the gap was a real nightmare. I had to move the prop shaft into all kinds of different positions to be able to get enough space to get it off. Obviously getting the seal out was a destructive process, but that was relatively easy, just popping that out. The only alterations I had to make really was I took the rear torsion bar, dropped that down, give me an extra 1/8 of an inch, and then the actual eye loop where the handbrake cable goes through, I had to bend that out the way to get the prop shaft really right down to that left hand side corner, so we could actually get enough space. But with a bit of levering, you can actually get it off. So next job now, put the new seal in and try to get it all back together again. Now remember, this is for the overdrive gearbox, but the actual seal is a 6488. So it's 64 internal diameter, 80 external diameter, and 8mm thick. Right, I'll get a new seal ordered. Okay, so the oil seal arrived this morning at £2.88. Here's the old one. It's identical. This one's got made in England on it, which I suppose the original. God knows where this one's made. But anyway, we'll try and fit it now. To make sure that the seal was bedded properly, I made this aluminium plate quite thin, just so I could get the actual recess correct on the seal. And I made this super duper wooden tool that allowed me to press it in. I've got to say, the cross member on the car came in very handy, because you could leave it against that as you're pushing the seal actually into the actual slot. So all in all, quite a successful job, and saved me a lot of time and a lot of effort. Thanks for watching.